Have you ever wondered who's working behind the scenes, making sure the HR technology at huge companies actually works? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain to demystify the pretty complex and honestly crucial role of the SAP SuccessFactors consultant. We're going to see what they really do.
So, yeah, it's a job title you might hear thrown around in the business world, but what does it actually mean? What does their day-to-day really look like? That's exactly the question we're here to answer, piece by piece.
Okay, first things first. Let's get a quick baseline. What is SAP SuccessFactors? Think of it as the high-tech, cloud-based engine that runs a modern HR department. It manages basically everything about a company's people, from the moment they get hired to the day they retire.
So, to really understand this role, we're going to follow what I like to call the consultant's journey. We'll start with drawing the blueprint, move into building the thing, then talk about empowering the people who use it, and finally, see how they help the system evolve over time. Every great project has to start with a great plan, right? Well, for a consultant, this is phase one, drawing the blueprint. This is all about getting a deep understanding of the client's world before a single piece of software is even touched. This is where the consultant puts on their detective hat. Seriously, they work side by side with the client, digging into their current HR processes, figuring out all the pain points, and getting crystal clear on what the business is trying to achieve. It's all about asking the right questions to uncover where things can be better.
All right, so once all that detective work is done and the blueprint is solid, it's time to turn those ideas into a real working system. Welcome to phase two, building the solution.
This part really boils down to three core steps. First, you design it. Then, you implement it, actually build it. And finally, you test it like crazy to make sure it's ready for prime time. Let's take a quick look at each one. Step one is all about the design. And here's a really important thing to remember. This is not a one-size-fits-all kind of job. The consultant is like a master tailor, designing a totally customized solution and configuring the system's different modules to fit that client's unique needs perfectly.
And let me tell you, this system is a beast. These are just some of the main modules a consultant has to master. Employee Central is the heart of it, the core HR data. Then you've got modules for tracking goals, for hiring, for training. Each one is its own little world, and the consultant's job is to know how they all connect.
Now for step two, implementation. This is where the consultant really leads the charge in bringing that design to life. But here's a huge challenge. No software lives on an island. They have to integrate SuccessFactors with all the other tech the company uses, making sure data flows smoothly between systems.
And last but not least in this phase, testing. Before any employee lays a finger on the new system, the consultant has to put it through the ringer. They run tons of tests to hunt down any bugs and, most importantly, make sure the final product does exactly what the business needs it to do. Okay, so the system is built and tested. Job done, right? Not even close. Now comes phase three, which is all about the human element. Because let's be real, amazing tech is useless if people don't know how to use it.
This is where the consultant switches hats again and becomes a teacher. They train everyone from the core HR teams to the everyday employees, making sure they're all comfortable and can get the most out of the new system. And they don't just train and run. They stick around to provide support and help troubleshoot after the launch. And, of course, they write the instruction manuals, creating really thorough documentation. Everything from super technical configuration guides to simple user manuals is absolutely critical. This is what allows the company to manage and understand its own system for years to come. And that brings us to the final and kind of ongoing phase. See, a great consultant doesn't just build something and then walk away. They help it grow and adapt. This is phase four, evolving the system. This is such a critical idea to grasp. The business world is always changing, and its technology has to change with it. So the consultant's role shifts here from being a builder to being a long-term strategic advisor.
Now they're actively advising the client on the best ways to do things. They're suggesting tweaks and enhancements that can make the system easier to use and ultimately make the entire company run more efficiently.
They also handle the really serious stuff, like compliance. I mean, think about it. Data privacy laws like GDPR, and then multiply that by all the local rules in dozens of different countries. It's incredibly complex, and the consultant's job is to make sure the system follows all those rules to keep the company safe.
To do all this, they basically have to be lifelong learners. A huge part of the job is staying on top of every single new feature that SuccessFactors releases. That way they can proactively tell their clients about upgrades that will help them stay ahead of the curve.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, what's the consultant's real impact? Well, it's pretty clear it's about so much more than just being a tech expert.
These professionals are true hybrids. They're a strategic partner who gets the business goals, a technical architect who builds a solution, an expert trainer who empowers the users, a long-term advisor who guides future growth, and maybe most of all, they're a master problem solver ready to tackle just about anything.
Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. When you're designing the systems that manage a company's most important asset, its people, you're doing a lot more than just configuring software. In a very real way, you're becoming an architect of that company's success. Something to think about. See you next time.